So the question on everybody's mind will be, how much will Zyon Grand be selling during its launch? And now with all the various projects has already been launched previously, and we are talking about Rivergreen, Promenade Peak, which is within the same area, we also have a benchmark price from Skye, Holland that has just recently achieved more than 98% of units sold. So that could also become a benchmark for us when we are deciding whether Zyon Grand low floor units, mid floor, or even high floor units, what is the right price that you should be going for. So in this video, what I'm going to share with you is my projection, and using all these examples from Rivergreen, Promenade Peak, as well as Skye, Holland being the latest, to come out a projection of how much Zyon Grand pricing for all the different rooms are going to be like. So you don't want to miss this video, and you want to watch all the way to the end, because I am going in depth with data, numbers, and comparison. So if this is the first time that you are here with me, then you may want to just subscribe to the channel and like this video, because this video is going to be crazy with numbers. Alright, so if you're not a numbers person, then maybe you want to skip this video because it may get a little bit more complicated, or you may not even understand what I am saying. But if you are somebody who really are looking for Zyon Grand and you kind of can't make a decision because Zyon Grand with its unique features is a 62 floor price point in terms of floor level, right? So the price for the higher floors and the lower floors, what are the differences? How much projection are we putting in for this climb per floor level so that the pricing is still attractive enough for us to purchase it? So in this video, I'm going to go very in-depth with this. So stay tuned all the way to the end, and like and subscribe to this channel if you have been following me for a while. It will really appreciate you to help me to continue do more videos like this. All right, so as I was sharing for Zyon Grand, now we have various benchmark. Okay, we're going to use Rivergreen. We're going to use Promenade Peak, as well as the latest Skye Holland, to give us a benchmark of prices. So we're going to go very in-depth into that. And with that, let me just share with you, just give you a quick overview of what Zyon Grand property is about. So if any one of you who are actually looking to purchase Zyon Grand, or perhaps you are thinking of visiting the show flat, or you have wanting to actually put a check but you kind of undecided, then this video is really going to be very helpful for you to guide you through this deciding factor. So for Zyon Grand, we're talking about the lower floor, lower height unit being the long-term service apartment. And this is the very first initiative that the government has planned for. And that's why for the Zyon Grand, their land price is actually slightly lower, because there's this integrated element where cost is also going to be extra when they're building it. So even though the land price is much lower than the surrounding properties, it doesn't mean that the prices launched will be cheaper than the rest. All right. Then we have very iconic two-story, 62-floor luxury residences, and I particularly love how they have designed this, like how they have done it with New Futura. When it first came out, the very first thing that I was very worried about is the layout going to be irregular? Okay, especially in a prime location like this. We have seen before their layout, their efficiency using of space is atrocious, I would say. But for this Zyon Grand, I think the developers and the architects has done extremely well. The curvy design that you are getting is just on the facade. And later on, we will also be looking into comparison of layouts. And today, in today's marketplace, we are going for Zyon Grand that is a harmonized project versus surrounding non-harmonized project. Where do they stand out? So, and we will equip that with additional numbers points so that you can see it once and for all in this video. All right, so two stories, very iconic. And just to give you a slight orientation, we're going to run this very fast. If you are going to have more details of what Zyon Grand details, then you can actually check out the other video that I put it up there. All right, so I can actually go in more details. But for this, because we want to really cover how the comparison of numbers are based on the latest Skye Holland pricing, and we're going to use that to benchmark how Zyon Grand should be priced. Okay, so very exciting. So you can see here for Zyon Grand, generally, we have, of course, some of the higher floor units that is also surrounding you, but most of them are still below 60 floor, 62nd floor. Actually, all of them are below 62 floor, except Promenade Peak, which is at this area. The rest are all highest 30th floor, and there's a certain distance that you're away from the rest of the blocks, which is very comfortable. if you are going for the high floor unit. So the question in this video you want to ask yourself is, how much more should I be paying for the high floor premium units, especially you have 62 floors to choose from? Will that be a comparison, or would it be too much in terms of the quantum that we're going to? So we're going to study that a little bit. And using PP, because PP is also 62 floor, right? So that also gives us a good benchmark to determine should we go for higher floor or lower floor. All right, so I'm not going to cover too much of this one, just to impress you a little bit with the view if you are going for 60th floor. All right, so one thing to really highlight is that today you must understand for Zyon Grand is getting a lot of attraction also because of its site area. So just now you all saw the layout as well as a site plan. You can see that they are very well positioned with only 2 blocks, and then 1 block is the service apartment, right? Because they have a very huge site area of almost 16,000 square meters versus the rest of the parcels that are already sold or upcoming, right? They are definitely much smaller. So this is always a very unique point that I want to make, is the larger the development, it doesn't mean that of course, transaction volume is one of them, but the visibility, the placement, the landscaping space that you get in your development is equally important. And we have done our research previously to highlight those big land, but they have very tight landscape and walking area versus those that have big landscape area and big plot land, right? The big plot land and the landscaping space actually outperforms a lot more. I believe this is the reason why I think from a ownership perspective, we like to come back to a property that we spend 2, 3, 4, or even 5 million on, and we want to come back to a kind of space that you can enjoy and keep calm to move forward. So the congested type of properties are always a little bit less in demand. And in terms of margins that we are seeing, the larger plots with larger landscaping, that means the developer did not maximize its GFA. I think those kind are the properties that are very sought after in today's market. All right. So one of the key things that's why when we are looking at the placement, right, you can see that now I place in even prominent peak layout. You can see what they have done is they kind of tilt the entire building so that the facing is almost unblocked. Okay, at least for the front block, right? So for A, right, they tilt it so that they don't block prominent peak lah. And for the other block is totally you are quite a distance from the other buildings. So like I said, the placement of this design is very important, because if today you are going 62nd floor, there's a certain premium that you want to uphold. And for any one of you who are interested in Zyon Grand, just to give you some data and some numbers, so this will be the dates. And if you find that you require certain help, not just about choosing the property, but also the selection of units and the pricing when it's been launched, then you need to really sit down and have a very proper preparation in order for you to do your booking, which is on the 25th of October. So this is all the deadline. So we already know Skye Holland has already been launched and it's sold very well. Penrith and Faber is next. Then we have Zyon Grand. So you can actually scan the QR code and reach out to us so that we can give you a kind of private tour to kind of align your directions of the property purchase with your plan or with your property plan, right? And maybe you need help in how to actually select some of the units. So in this video, I'm going to give you a very in-depth understanding of how we actually do it for our clients. That is why during any selection process, there's always procedures that we go through, a framework that we guide our clients in. And the reason is to make sure that you're confident of your purchase. And if the pricing are a little bit too high, then you may want to just walk away. All right, it's absolutely fine. But I believe I've seen a lot of homeowners, they purchase already, then they reach out to us, why don't you do it before you even put in a check, before you even commit to a unit, to get a second opinion and to understand better what are the key things that you might be missing out that you may not have considered. Let us be your devil's advocate and share with you more so that you can be confident of your decision later on, right? So scan the QR code and get in touch with us and so that we can see what we can do to help you. All right. So to give you a quick overview, this is the estimated price point, price matrix that we have done. And because we do not know the actual pricing of what the developer is going to launch at all the different floors and all the different facing, they did provide us the starting pricing value. So I know there's a lot of numbers. Don't worry about this. This is more of a guide. And these are the things that we prepare ahead so that we can help you to make a better decision. And besides just the pricing, we also want to make sure that you have done your affordability limits. A lot of homeowners in launches period, they make the mistakes of overcommitting because whatever unit you wanted was gone, somebody bought it, and you just go higher and higher in terms of pricing, which is a no-no for us. That's why we want to work out what is the threshold that is most comfortable for you, safer for you. Then when we do our unit selection as well as our per floor level facing strategy, right, that's where we will go in depth when the pricing are released. And most importantly is if one unit, or should I say one property type that you're going for, it could be overpriced, could there be other alternatives that we can also accept that helps you in your entire property journey? But more importantly is to work out what's your walkaway price at the end on that day. It'll be super pressure cooker, so it'll be a lot of numbers flying around. If you're going in alone to fight the battle, it's going to be confusing. It's going to be FOMO. A lot of emotion will start kicking in, and that's the reason why we are here to kind of guide you through of what we have discussed before, to bring you back on track, to determine whether a certain pricing does it make sense when it crosses a certain price point in a certain height level of facing. So we actually run simulations like this. Like for Skye Holland, what we did for our clients was we actually have projected like even for different price point, then we actually lay out all the numbers of the unit pricing, and all these are updated live as we go forward so that we can guide you on to select the best situation. And then we even break it down if we do like, the 2-bedroom, 2+ study. So we got all the different computations to allow us to make a more informed decision, because time is rather tight during the balloting. So even like, for example, like 4-bedroom, we will list it down what are the pricing point, and if there's any adjustment on the spot, we will make the pivot, right, to make sure that you do not get sucked into the illusion of purchase. Or so even like 2-bedroom. So we will do this kind of comparison to help you make better informed decisions, because numbers are key. You can do any sorts of research online, watch a lot of videos, but you still do not know the price. Okay, and the price is only released on the day itself. So you need to be positioned well to know how to actually enter the market or how to even walk away from it if it totally don't make sense, and not just blindly going in, oh, this is my budget, until this budget makes sense, then I just purchase. I think there's a lot of preparation that you need to kind of be prepared more than others so that you can be on the upper hand. And of course, last but not least is still your ballot number. Okay, whether your ballot number comes out, whether it's the front queue, mid queue, or towards the back, there is a strategy for different queue number. All right, different badges of queue number. And that's where we come in with our expertise that we have sold more than 100 new launches, over 160 to 170 million worth of properties, to guide you through this process systematically and, most importantly, logically. Okay. All right. So this is what we have done previously to kind of give you a quick overview when Skye Holland was out, and then we kind of compare it to Zyon Grand. So in today's video, we're going to really dive in deeper into the specifics using Skye Holland as a benchmark. Then we benchmark to Rivergreen, even to Promenade Peak, and then how Zyon Grand potentially is going to be priced. All right, so I think this is extremely important for every one of you here. So right, so let's take a look at this. So bear with me as I'm going to run through a lot of numbers. All right, so I'm going to give you an overview of how Skye prices are, and we're going to cover the 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom, and 4-bedroom in today's video, right? So just to give you a quick overview for Skye, okay, wait, let me just do this so that, okay. For Skye, there are 2-bed, 1 bath. All right, 581 square feet. Okay, there's a lot of all these numbers and sizes that you need to be aware of as we do this comparison. So bear with me. And you may want to slow it down a little bit in the video so that you can capture all the numbers accurately. And we spend a lot of effort and a lot of time. So do subscribe and like this video as we go and cover this. Okay. All right. So the 581 square feet. And I want to use a range of, let's say, the second floor. We use that as a marking so that we can know as it goes higher, how much will the prices going to be. So the prices for second floor is about 1.51 million. Okay. And if today I'm talking about 40th floor, which is plus 38th floor, right? The pricing is about 1.822 million. So these are all actual transacted prices. So it's not like we're pulling from the Skye, because Skye Holland has already been transacted. So we know all these prices. And now I'm unveiling everything to you. So if you look at this on the average, right? The per floor jump, okay, per floor is about $8,210. This is an estimate. Okay, so now we use this as a benchmark because it's the latest launch. Although you can comment that it's not as high, it's not integrated, and it's D10, it's in Holland, blah blah blah. So all these parameters, yes, totally understand and totally agree. That's why we are only using these numbers as a benchmark. It is not the 100% guarantee this is the pricing. If anybody tells you that, please run away, far away. Okay, so if you look at Rivergreen, right? So here you can see that the Rivergreen 2-bed 1-bath which is 527 square feet. Okay, let me use a different color so that it's clearer, right? Okay, 527 square feet. For the second floor, it's already transacting at 1.52 million. And if we look at the 31st floor at 1.72 million on average, okay, their per floor jump is about $7,655, which is from here, the entire value, right, went up about 222,000. So this is a very good indication for you to highlight that, hey, today, based on a 40th floor property, what's the average per floor jump? Because like I said, this doesn't mean that it's a blanket statement for every property, every project, please. It's not. So, of course, there are certain developments or developers, they have a certain pricing strategy, and we can only look at the average for as consumer like us to kind of benchmark it. So because we have seen a per floor jump, specifically, they may jump 25,000, even 30,000. And then every floor level, they jump from 8 to 15 or even 20,000. It really depends. And I've also seen one floor jump. You may say that, how can it be? Per floor jump 100,000. We have seen it before. So it's not like a blanket statement that says, oh, it's 8,000, 7,000. No. But why am I sharing with this? Because I want you to manage your own expectation. As a buyers, all of us, we definitely want to buy cheap. Everybody want to buy low price, buy cheaper. It's always the case. But there's a certain reality check that you need to put forward. If not, you will always constantly be missing out opportunities. There are opportunities, but you thought or you think that they are not. All right. So this is very worrying in markets where you are not being guided. You do not understand the pricing strategy behind it. And that's why you keep missing out on opportunities. All right, so if you are doing that, stop it, reach out to us, let us see how we can guide you through this process to understand better. All right, so coming back, right? So this is what happened for Rivergreen, 7,000 plus in terms of floor jump. And then if you look at the total quantum is about 222,000. All right. So let's say we base on this 40th floor. Okay. So for 40th floor, I need to do an apple-to-apple comparison, right? Since this is 02 to 40, then I use Rivergreen. Let's say it goes up to 40 floor, which means the price point will be about 1.81 million. And what you do is you top up about 290,000 more. Okay, from the second floor, I use second floor to 40th floor as a benchmark so that it's easier for you to calculate. So which means at 1.81 million. So remember this pricing, 40th floor for Rivergreen is about 1.81 million. So then now we look at Promenade Peak. Promenade Peak is in terms of height level, is very comparable to Zyon Grand because both are 62nd floor, right? 62 floor, right? So Promenade Peak here, you can see they are 1 bedroom, okay, 527 square feet. has already transacted at 1.433 million, and their 40th floor already transacted at 1.625 million. So this gives us a good gauge that they have to add on about 192,000 for this whole jump, and per floor is about 5,000. Can you see a difference that Promenade Peak and Rivergreen, although they are very close to each other, their pricing per floor level is totally different? All right. The reason is very easy, very simple, because for Promenade Peak, if they do the same thing as loading of 7,000, 8,000 or even 10,000, then a lot of the higher units will be super high price because it will jump 300, 400,000 from the bottom, right? So then there is always this guideline where is the market ready to accept those prices? Because the developers, they also need to sell their properties. If they price too high, nobody buy. All right, so it's the same thought as you and me as a seller. Our thought process is all the same because we're all human beings. Okay, so now this gives you a good gauge. All right, so the question is, if let's say we look at Zyon Grand, okay, if Zyon Grand, I just do an average, okay, if let's say I just do an average of, let me use this. All right, let's say I just use the average of 8,002, 7,006, 5,000, all this as an average. Let's say, what if Zyon Grand, their per floor, let's say is about 6,500. Okay, very cheap lah. Okay, if you ask me in terms of per floor level. Of course, is this the actual numbers? Nobody knows, right? But I'm doing analytics based on numbers to do a projection. So if let's say if it's a $6,500 per square, 6,005 jump per floor, which is averagely perhaps about 5%, 4 to 6% range, right? You can actually buy Zyon Grand, right? Okay, let's just write here, Zyon Grand. Okay, and Zyon Grand being an integrated property, you know, you are connected to the MRT. There are 538 square feet unit, 2 bed, 1 bath. Okay, it's starting from 02. I laid out all the numbers so that it's easier for you to also compare. 1.468 million. Okay, which is about 2,700 plus per square foot. And if you want to go up all the way to 40th floor, 40th floor only, okay, is only 1.715 million, which is you top up about 247,000. So 1.7515, can you see the difference when you're comparing it to first Skye or Holland? If you compare it to Rivergreen, if you compare it to Promenade Peak. Okay, you can use that as a benchmark, correct? And then if we go extreme, we say we go all the way to the highest floor, okay? So let's say we say highest floor, 62 floor. All right, this will be about 1.858 million. If 1.858 million, it's actually cheaper than Rivergreen, because you're getting 60 floor, 62nd floor. All right, whereas Rivergreen is already at only the 40th floor at 1.81 million. So about another 40,000, you get another 20 floor up. Hey, why not? So in a way, if you're buying 62nd floor for Zyon Grand at Rivergreen 40th floor price. You see, and this configuration is a 1 plus study price at Promenade Peak. Okay, so that is how when we do the comparison. So why am I sharing with you all these numbers? And we're going to repeat the same process for all the 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom, 4-bedroom, so that you really have a better understanding. Because this will also determine how are you going to position your purchase. You know, there are always the low floor, the mid floor, and the high floor benchmark that you need to prepare ahead, especially for high rise like this. If not, you are going in blindly. You are going in just with, oh, how much I can afford. I just look at the floor level and then I purchase. What if their floor jump is much more than projected? Then are you going to put yourself in a losing position versus the rest of the properties because their prices are better? May not be necessary. And when I call better means you're comparable in terms of prices, or maybe you are even lower, the surrounding are even lower than you. Because the last thing you want to do is you kind of self-justify a purchase, right? No, I can pay a little bit more because it's integrated. So these are all justification without numbers, justification without proof, right? So we don't like to do that. We like to use numbers, and then we have a certain benchmark when it crosses this price versus the rest of the surrounding, are we still safe? Okay, are we still safe to purchase? Of course, there will always be a plus minus a little bit here and there that we can give and take. But if it's too much, the problem is if it's too much and you're buying in with hype and FOMO, you're going to trap your own property for the next couple of years. And that's the reason why some of the properties cannot sell, because your entry price is already very high and other people are not going to, just buy your property because your property is high price. All right. So these are all things that you need to be a little bit careful about. And of course, when we start comparing it with Zyon Grand, right, I'm just using the 2-bedroom configuration, right? Because Promenade Peak, you're getting 1 plus study. Here, Zyon Grand, you're getting 2-bedroom. Why not? For 60 floor, you see. So the layout, if you can see, because this is a harmonized configuration, and I compare it to Riviera, 1-bedroom only. Okay, so based on size, it's quite similar. And because Riviera is a non-harmonized project, that's why there's always the additional space of 7 square meters as well as the aircon ledge counted. And the usable space throughout for Riviera will be about 42 square meters, but for Zyon Grand is at least 50 square meters. So I think this is also something that I believe the developer has done very well, because they did not add on additional balcony space for the 2-bed. Imagine if they have done a 7 square meter balcony, then of course, balcony will not be so big, 7 square meters. It should be about 4 to 5 square meters usually. But what I have done for Riviera is, you can see they have put in a 7 square meter. Wow, extremely big. So all these small little numbers are what we look at, because it does affect your livability and your layout configuration. Yeah, so that's why when we are looking at even Zyon Grand, if we compare to Riviera, the Riviera 35th floor actually transacted at 1.822 million already. Okay, already transacted at this pricing. So if you compare what we have provided in terms of the Zyon Grand pricing, for the 2-bed 1 bath, you are able to get, let's say we talk about 40th floor, you are able to get easily 1.715 million. Okay, this is on the 40th floor. Hey, why not? Okay, you're saving almost 100,000, 110, 120,000, and you're getting a higher unit as well, better layout, more space efficiency. So these are the things that you need to really study a little bit. So bear with me, because we are really going to really dive in quite a fair bit in terms of the numbers. And let's move forward with 2-bed 2 bath. Okay, very popular choice always. So the key thing is that today for Skye, based on their 678 square feet. Okay, again, I'm using 02 floor. It transacted at 1.758 million. All right. And if we talk about 40th floor, the jump is to 2.08 million. So their per floor jump on average, okay, per floor is about $8,473. Yeah, we are a little bit more specific. Okay, so we can count it more accurately, right? So this is what Skye is doing. And so today, Rivergreen 2-bed 2 bath for 678 square feet. Okay, for their Rivergreen 678 square feet, they are already transacting about 1.8 million. All right. And sorry, 603 square feet. 603 square feet. All right, already transacted at 1.8 million. And this is only on the 2nd floor. Then the high floor unit transacted at 2.13 million, which is the 32nd floor. So based on this, the average floor jump is 11,000. Hey, oh, wow, 2-bed 2 bath, their jump is higher, or on average lah. So this is what you can do to also understand a little bit, like, will the developer throughout all the different property types, will they also do the same price jump? It may not. All right, so it's all up to the developer strategy, and of course the demand currently in the marketplace on what kind of pricing. So I think a lot of times, sometimes we always wish and hope and pray that the developer are nicer to us so that we can buy something. Okay, I want to highlight the truth. Ultimately, they are in business. Yes, they will not be crazily priced themselves, because if they want to make all the profits that they can, but nobody buys from them, they are also stuck. So there's always a benchmark. It's like when you're buying stocks, right? Dollar cost averaging kind of approach comes in. But from a consumer, this is what I want to warn you. Stop thinking they will sell you cheap. Okay, but there's a certain price point that we benchmark ourselves to, and stop complaining about why developer they sell so expensive, then I cannot buy. Okay, so I think all these are just narratives in the marketplace. I believe every property, there's always a buyer. There's always a property price point that is suitable for you. The question is, if you can accept this reality that this is how the pricing is going to be, it's easier for you to accept what is happening right now in the marketplace, for you to have a foothold inside. If not, you will constantly be missing out on opportunities. And like for this, for the Rivergreen, they jump 11,000, and then does it make sense? You see, so the 2-bed 1 bath was 8,000, and then this one was 11,000. So that's why we do benchmarking of prices to see what's the measurement. So let's say we talk about this is only 32nd floor. So if we use 40th floor, which means that the entire jump, you will pay about 418,000 from second floor all the way up. Okay, from second floor all the way up. So you need to kind of pay how much? 2.218 million. And then you top up from second floor, using second floor as an example, 418,000. 418,000 to pay to get 40th floor. It really depends on what's your strategy behind buying a property, and of course your ballot number and queue number, and to see whether the overall quantum is it still palatable for you to actually accept. All right. So then we look at Promenade Peak. Okay, so Promenade Peak 2-bed 2 bath are bigger because it's 689 square feet. And their second floor already transacted at 1.874, and 40th floor is at 2.124 million. So again, we look at 40th floor. All right, for 40th floor, the price point that they will jump to, let me just make sure that the numbers are correct. Yeah, we spend a lot of time and nights. See, black eye already, dark circles. All right, let me just make sure that we're correct. Yes, okay. So based on 40th floor, for Promenade Peak, you will be about 2.12 million. Okay, you add on about $250,000. Okay, you plus 250,000. Okay, to go up to 40th floor, right? So then from here, you can start seeing the pricing, the benchmarking. So again, Zyon Grand is a different product. It's slightly newer. It's not like 2, 5, 10 years newer. So the price point shouldn't deviate too much from what we are seeing in the marketplace. And with Skye and Holland, I believe it's like a cross out, because Skye and Holland is a D10, it's not integrated. So you cross out that you are buying Zyon Grand with integrated. So these are some of the average per square foot sensitivity that you need to be aware of. Of course, what we are projecting here is not calculating your own preference. How much do you value your own preference? How much do you value your own living lifestyle? All this I cannot measure. So I can only look at data, okay, to determine. So some people, they are willing to pay, oh, it's okay, I pay $500,000 more for the view. Man, that's how you price the view. Go ahead. Whilst another group may value the space more than the height of the floor. So all these are how we help you to determine how to enter and exit in property. All right. So with this, so Zyon Grand, let us just do a projection, right? So let's say it's for Zyon Grand, let's just use red color. All right. So Zyon Grand, there are 2-bed 2 bath. Okay, ZG, 2-bed 2 bath. Okay, which is 689 square feet. All right, so I think from a size-wise perspective, it's very similar to, 646 square feet. Yeah, I'm always seeing the wrong numbers. 646 square feet, right? So this is bigger than Rivergreen, slightly smaller than Promenade Peak. All right, but again, it's how efficient the layout are going to do. And their second floor, okay, let's say I use the average because the Promenade Peak is 6,578, right? On average. Let's say we say their per floor jump is 7,000. Okay, let's be reasonable. Okay, we hook our horse, increase by 7,000 can already. If we look at 7,000, which is very low, okay, very cheap now, of course, then the second floor will start. okay, about 1.758 million. And then if we look at 40th floor will be about 2.024 million. So a jump of about, let me see, the 266,000. Okay, for that jump of height. So there's always a value for high floor units. But at the same time, you also do not want to overpay for that $1 million view too much. Most worrying is you pay for high price for a Wang view. That's the worst. Oh. So now we do the numbers. Okay, let's say we go for 60th floor. Okay, from second, all these things are all from second floor. We kind of calculate upwards. It will be about let me see, the 2.178 million, 60th floor, and then you plus 420,000. You can see a huge jump. Also, every 20th, so from the 40th floor, it seems like the pricing still can accept, but the moment when 40th to 60th floor, you have to top up another 200,000. So depending on whether your affordability is there, is it necessary to really go high floor? So the interesting fact is that actually for the last few launches, all these high floor units, whether it's Skye, Holland, Rivergreen, or even Promenade, the high floor units are taken up first. Okay, they are being absorbed first. Of course, Promenade we understand because they only have the bigger units all on the higher floor. So Singaporean like to buy bigger unit, so they go for higher floor. At least for now, they go for higher floor units. That's why the entire market has shifted. So if today you are still using your past 20 years, 15 years kind of terminology or way to access the property market, maybe it's time for you to upgrade. Time to stay current and relevant in how the future next 10 years of property market is going to be, so that you can stay and put yourself in and have a chance in the marketplace instead of relying on old research, old data, old thought process. I don't think that was going to help you a lot because you will be priced out and you will always be thinking about last time, cheaper and cheaper. It's always the case. So we all know that. All right, so with this, right? So if you can see, if let's say based on this pricing, the 60th floor, 2.178 million versus the Rivergreen at 40th floor at 2.218. Almost the same. So I can still go for super high floor and I can buy at Rivergreen, which is 30th floor pricing. And I can buy Zyon Grand high floor at Promenade 40th floor because the pricing are very similar. So this gives you a benchmark there. Is 7,000 going to be a reality? Nobody knows now. So we need to wait and see. And that's where the live comparison on that day is so important. And we do all this research beforehand so that we can guide you through this process. All right, so if you look at layout, right, I also compare Zyon Grand to Urwell Hill. Urwell Hill being in River Valley is also one of the, actually the latest TOP project. You can see from Urwell Hill, because it's non-harmonized, they have an additional 3 square meter for the aircon ledge, which makes it just 1 square meter shy in terms of livable area. And you can't really fault too much about 2-bedroom, right, in terms of their layout. Although for Urwell Hill, you have a kind of a slight open area here, or that kind of a wasted space in the entrance. But this is also, I think, one of the advantage for Urwell Hill 2-bed is because they have an enclosed kitchen, which is something that's doable. So the only competition you have for Zyon Grand is that because it's an open configuration. But this is for the smaller 646 square feet, or in terms of 2-bedroom. You can always go for the other layouts if you want to, or for the price point. And then that's where you can give yourself permission to kind of look at, okay, today, what can I choose in the marketplace if you are so particular about layout? If this layout, you cannot accept, let's say, for example, an open kitchen, then don't. No matter whether the price is attractive, super good or not, you can choose to walk away. All right. But unfortunately, a lot of people, they tend not to do it. Then they will have to tell themselves, oh, then let me pay more for the better layout unit. So then that's your preference point. Again, it has to come back to the numbers still. Right, the rest of the configuration, you can't go too far. So for Urwell here, right, it has already transacted for the 33rd floor, right, at 2.23 million. And then so we do a projection, right? If let's say the property is launched at $2,800 per square foot, hey, it's only at 1.808 million. So that's why there's always a sort of savings and you get a little bit more of the space usage as well. Of course, for 2-bedroom, they also have another configuration. So I'm going to go through the bigger 2-bedroom in terms of numbers, also that you can do a comparison whether you want to get the compact 2-bed or the normal 2-bed, or should I call it 2-bed premium. So again, Skye at Holland. Okay, let's use other color. Since we are on Skye at Holland, let's use blue. Skye, okay. For Skye, there are 2 plus study. All right, it's 732 square feet. The 04 unit is 1.929 million. All right, and if we talk about 40th floor, it's already 2.297 million. Okay, the average floor jump is about 10222 per square foot. All right, so this is something that you need to be aware of, because the configuration is a lot different for the 2-bed premium. All right, so why do I say that? Later on, I'll share with you the layout as well. So let us use the same example. So their per floor jump is about 10,000, and Rivergreen, being a 2 plus study, which is the square feet unit, right, is already transacted at 1.93 million, and this is, you can see the sizes are smaller. Oh, and this is the 2nd floor, and then you have 2.323 million for the 33rd floor. So this gives you an indication of how the prices are going to be, and from here you can ask yourself, hey, then their per floor jump is 12,000. Average, they have to top up about close to 400,000. Promenade peak is a 764, so very comparable. Already sold at 2.13 million, and the 40th floor at 2.4 million. Average jump 7,000. So once after we did the research, we also realized that actually the what do you call it? The Promenade peak, their per floor jump actually is very attractive. Alright, I don't know whether do you see it. It is very it's lower, much lower, and this kind of price loading, I don't know whether are you aware, it's actually like what do you call it? Like EC loading pricing. The EC sometimes even more expensive. Also, again, it's largely because of what? Because of the height of the property, the entire 62 floor. They do need to take into account on the pricing, and that's why Rivergreen or even Skye Holland, they are able to load in a little bit more. Can you imagine if it's a 10,000 per floor for a 60th floor jump? That's 600,000 already. So that is also another question that we have to be absolutely careful about. Or it's not just about buying and just hoping that I get a good number. So when we look at the price gap, then we will be able to determine, like, okay, if let's say the price jump, it crosses a certain level, should I still be going forward with the purchase? Or can I give and take plus a little bit here and there, and how far should I jump to the next level? Because ultimately, if you can see, right, if it's a 7,000 jump versus a 10,000 jump, is quite a lot of difference, A lot of difference, and that will affect how high you want to go in terms of the property purchase. Does it make sense? All right, so this is how we help you all to kind of look into when your property purchase law on the day itself during the launch, because of all this preparation that we've done beforehand. We have all the pricing, we kind of simulate the entire situation before the actual selection. You have a higher chance of confidence of what you are doing. You're not guessing your way into it. There are certain mistakes and traps that a lot of homeowners make on that day. You will not fall into that because we have done all these things way before. And on that day, it's more about execution. Okay, execution to, based on what we have researched, let's not be blinded and we follow what we have done to purchase that property. All right, does it make sense? So if today you have liked the video so far, you have learned something, maybe you can just subscribe, like the video, comment, thank you. I think it will help me a lot so that it gives me a better perspective of what you guys require. And if you think that you want to or maybe there are certain videos that you like me to actually prepare and you have kind of questions about, you can also comment in the comment section so that we can help you to understand what is actually happening in the property market, be it is new launches, be it is where the market is, whether how interest rate is going to be done. So all these are part that we are able to fit and help you with as we move forward. Okay, so I think very importantly is the key thing about the properties research is we always constantly want to stay current. We don't want to just blindly going in thinking that every property can also buy. I think that's an unfair statement. Okay, unfair statement. Yeah, so my role here is to kind of educate and advocate everybody to make sure that we are doing what we can, okay, and not just jump into the prices and just say, okay, because I got the money, let's just purchase the property. Okay, I don't think that's a fair statement to look into. All right, so yep, great. So let me come back to this and give you guys a overview for this. So let's say we base on this pricing, and today if you want to look into Rivergreen, okay, let me just, all right, so if you want to look at Rivergreen 40th floor, okay, if you look at Rivergreen 40th floor, so you need to pay up to 2.411 million. You need to pay up to 2.411 million. That's from the second floor onwards counting. Promenade Peak, Promenade Peak, you need to pay up to 2.41 million. Okay, 40th floor. All right, so almost the same for both. Although their starting prices is a little bit different because of the loading, right? Then Zyon Grand, our projection is that if let's say today based on this, I think I use a different. For Zyon Grand, right? Let's say we base on just 7,000 again, all right, as a benchmark. Then the second floor, because it's starting from 1.938 million, then their 40th floor will be averagely about 2.204 million. And their 60th floor is about 2.358 million as a benchmark. So with a 60th floor Zyon Grand integrated, you're linked to the MRT, there are shops around, you don't need to go anywhere to buy food anymore. Maybe even Great World, you find that it's a little too far. Right? Then, hey, you can purchase Zyon Grand, you see, at 2.358 million for 40th floor, or even Promenade Peak at 40th floor. I never even count how much Promenade Peak 60th floor is good, because it's much higher, right? So these are the numbers that I believe is very important for you, because if we can buy the same price point, all right, and we have certain advantage in our property, be it layout, be it views, be it super high block, whichever, that will give you more safety net in terms of your exit in future. Okay, I think this is extremely important. So, and then layout, we also compare Zyon Grand 2-bit to Riviera. Again, Riviera has the aircon latch. So, of course, Riviera is quite big at 818 square feet. It's at 818 square feet. So, ultimately, at the end, Zyon Grand is about 67 square meter, and then Riviera is 73 square meter. All right. So, the key thing is that both are also done in the way in terms of layout. Okay, let's take a look. So Riviera one is of course a corridor kind of layout. The only thing you need to always take note is the huge balcony. Whereas if you compare to Zyon Grand, it's only 5 square meter versus 8 square meter. This is 8. This is 5. So nowadays I don't think you should have a big balcony because most of the time you only use it for laundry. Okay, which is kind of underutilized. But yet, for properties like Zyon Grand, the balcony space is important, because if you are getting an unblocked view, hey, you want to enjoy, right? So, but it's just nice enough for you to use it, not like too big that you have to put a dining table there kind of arrangement. But a very nice 2-seater, coffee table. I think it's a very nice lifestyle, especially if you're going up to even 40th floor, 50th floor, 60th floor. So for a River 2-bed 2-bath, right, they have already transacted on the 18th floor about 2.5 million, and we anticipate, let's say now, on the high level, wow, the high floor go up to $3,600 per square foot. It's also only about 2.592 million. Okay, and this is based on what? That today you are buying Zyon Grand at 721. First, you get a dumbbell, you save space. Hey, you get a study. You're able to buy even higher floor, the 18th floor. Definitely, this one will be easily about maybe 40th floor, much higher. You enjoy your space with your balcony. I think it checks all the boxes. Okay, it checks all the boxes, and that's why Zyon Grand, from the numbers perspective, it does make sense. The only reservations that you may have, alright, which is if you have not taken a look at the property, then you may want to kind of make a booking with us so that we can guide you through, and then let me show you and share with you what are the other parts of the project that we do have some reservations about. Okay, and you can reach out to us. I'll tell you very openly and transparently what are they that they potentially could help you to make a better decision or not. Okay, all right. I need to be very careful in my content. That's the reason. Okay, all right. So coming back, so with this, take a look at the very popular 3-bedroom. This one, I think everybody is waiting in the video. It's like, go faster, let's get to the 3-bedroom. Okay, so 3-bedroom is also very exciting. So Skye at Holland, their 3-bedroom smallest one, 3-bed, is about 915 square feet. And their 4th floor is transacting at 2.419 million. All right. Their per floor jump is about 1,100, 11,000. Okay, 11,000 jump. And so if you look at it from a 40th floor perspective, all right, it's a 2.833 million. All right, so that's how the overall quantum looks like. And if you look at Rivergreen, for their 3-bedroom, when you know the size, you know the size. Okay, their 3rd floor is really transacting at 2.188 million, and their 35th, this one is 36th floor, all right, at 2.693 million. All right, so per jump is about 13,600 just using this as an estimate. The top up is close to $500,000. All right, and if you want to look at Rivergreen at the 40th floor, this is averagely the price point. Okay, you will need to pay about 2.693 million. So that's for 40th floor benchmark. Then we look at Promenade Peak. So Promenade Peak, if you realize their 3-bedroom is much bigger at 1,033 square feet. So that's the reason why some people have reservations for their layout of the how they're placed. All right, so all these are very subjective, right? Some people like, some people don't like, but I'm still going down into the numbers lah. So ultimately, at the end of the day, it becomes a resale. All buyers are very sensitive also because of pricing. All right, no matter how much you love the layout, how much you love the project, if you cannot purchase based on quantum, means you cannot afford. As simple as that. All right. So for Promenade Peak, when we calculated, it's close to about $10,000 per square foot. So if we talk about 40th floor, okay. Oh, sorry, 40th floor is already here. Yeah, if you talk, yeah, so 40th floor jump is 3.206 million. Okay, 3.206 million. So this is the Promenade Peak, which is 62nd floor. So it's the best. I wouldn't say the best, but it's the highest comparable that you can use in today's marketplace, right? So Zyon Grand, their smallest, let me just do this. All right, their smallest is 818 square feet, right? Okay. And their 2nd floor starting is at 2.2 million. And if we calculate just based on 8,000, their 40th floor will become 2.504 million. All right, this is definitely lower price. See, for Zyon Grand 2.504, Rivergreen is 2.693, and you get a smaller unit. All right. Then if you look at 60th floor, this will go up to about 2.68 million. Okay, definitely 60th floor will be lower than Rivergreen in terms of pricing. and even for Promenade Peak at 40th floor. All right, so these are the things that you need to kind of work around. All right, at 2.5, yeah, correct. So why are we comparing all these numbers? Is because unfortunately we see a lot of homeowners, they tend to get rushed into the purchase, and they do not know how much the prices are supposed to be benchmarked to, and they never even calculate how much per floor they should give themselves the buffer. So these are all the things that we saw, the mistakes, the traps that people make. And that's the reason why I want to do a slightly lengthy number video to share with everyone. So I hope that all of you appreciate. All right. So think if you know what to do, you know what to do. The subscribe button and the like button. Thank you. Okay. All right. So coming back, we look at the comparing to Martin Modern first. All right. So Martin Modern, they have, of course, the aircon latch. And their Martin Modern is 850. So it's very, very good comparison in terms of space. And if you look at the layout for both, right? So Martin Modern recently, a 22nd floor unit transacted at 2.445 million. Okay, so layout-wise, I think it's very similar because the Martin Modern one has a study. Okay, you see their big study here. And the study is come with window one. So that's why the layout is very interesting, and that's why it has been performing quite well, right? And if let's say today's Zyon Grand for the layout is at $2,800 per square foot, you are only paying 2.29 million. Okay, 2.29. So you're almost about 150,000 savings. Of course, you do have to accept that this is an open concept kitchen. All right, the rest are doable, functional. Oh, so these are some of the things that you need to take note of. And then if let's say we use it to compare to Riviera, okay, at the same square feet of 818. Riviera, of course, you have your icon latch, but overall, in terms of livability, Zyon Grand will have extra 3 square meter versus Riviera. Then we look at the layout for these two. So for Riviera, they also recently sold at 18th floor at 2.5 million. Or else, if let's say I base on just $2,800 per square foot for Zyon Grand, you're entering it at about 2.29 million. And that's almost a $200,000 savings. And one thing for sure you must know, Riviera is a what? Let me just draw your attention in case you missed this out. This is a 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom. What about our Zyon Grand? 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, 3 bedroom. So same size, okay, let me extend this again. Same size, okay, actually you're bigger, 76 square meter. Okay, whereas Riviera is only a 2 bedroom, right? But they're able to fit in a what? 3 bed configuration. All right. So this is something that you need to also be able to accept. All right. So for the A1A, that's why I find that this is a very sweet spot in between buyers who require the rooms. They have to kind of make do with like the open kitchen approach, you know. So this becomes a compact 3 bedroom, and I believe this this layout is going to be extremely popular. Why is this so? Because if you can notice, right, just now I was talking about balcony space, they did a 6 square meter, and there's a reason why they do this 6 square meter, because they have provision that if let's say today you really intend to put your dining table out there, it's still big enough. Okay, it's still big enough. And what you can do with this additional space, you can use it for storages, you can create other stuff out, you know, even a additional dining, I don't say dining, an island approach that you can have a breakfast counter. So there are many ways that they have thought through. And that's why I particularly also find that even though it's open kitchen, there are other attributes that you need to see before you decide. Or I hope that this also gives you my 2 cents worth. All right. So this is, I think, important for us to kind of look into. So next, I want to kind of look into the proper 3 bedroom. Okay, the proper 3 bedroom. So again, I'm using Skye 915 square feet. Okay, yeah, all right. So if you look at this configuration, the Skye if you use their 3-bed 915 square feet, it's overing about 2.419 million for the second floor. And on the 40th floor, it will be 2.833 million. Again, it's 11500 jump. Okay, so same jump lah. But because now we are comparing it to the other layouts and other so I need to kind of do some comparison, all right, to see whether the certain layout, which one makes more sense. All right, so then from here you can see that the numbers change a little bit because Rivergreen is 872 and this is with an enclosed kitchen. So we want to try to compare as close as possible to how, whether it's a height level, property size, development, number of units, all these things we try to compare as close as possible. You can't get 100%, but as close as possible. So the average jump will be about 17,000. Okay, and based on Rivergreen, they are pricing 2.5 million all the way to 300,000. That's $500,000 more just to jump up to the 31st floor. So if it's on the 40th floor, the pricing will be, see, 3.17 million. 3.17 million. Okay, so that's on the 40th floor. Then Promenade Peak, their size is 1033. Okay, so it's much bigger. And their per floor jump is about 10,000 also. Okay, so there's still some form of savings, but it's 10,000. So that's why you can see, hey, there's a difference from 2-bed, 3-bed, 3-bed premium, their loading per floor jump is also very different. So from here, if let's say we talk about the 40th floor is really 3.206 million. Okay, 3.206. So Zyon Grand, their starting price for now I'm using the enclosed kitchen, which is the 861 square feet to do comparison. So their second floor is about 2.33 million. And if we look at the 40th floor, it should hover about 2.672 million. And I'm only using how much? 9,000 as a benchmark. 9K. Average lah, we do an average. 9K. So if 40th floor, then of course if you go 60th floor, you'll be 2.87 million. Can you see the price on the height? If let's say you're able to get 60th floor, right? Why would you want to go for 40th floor Rivergreen at 3.17 million? So this is where you can do your sums. What is the loading that you are most comfortable with? And that's how you can see how you can go up higher. So there's this misconception, the higher floor properties are more expensive. In quantum, yes. But sometimes you have to see value of the height in a different way. And that's where we come in to guide you through, does it make sense to pay that extra premium for the high floor or not? All right. Or some projects really, it makes a lot of sense to go high floor. Some really don't. So you need to be very conscious about how you look at property and numbers. Okay, important. All right. So now I give you a quick overview for Martin Modern example. Although Martin Modern is 1019 square feet, they have almost 4.6 square meters of aircon ledge. So even though Zyon Grand is 861, overall is 80 square meter versus 90 square meter. Plus minus almost the same. So for Zyon Grand, for Martin Modern, recently they transacted a 27th floor at 3 million, and you can see the layout, right? Let me just zoom this in. Sama, quite same. Okay, same but different in somehow. So if for Zyon Grand, you're having more livable space, and if let's say we say the higher floor at $3,200 per square foot, okay, and potentially you're also going to get high floor, okay, above 25th floor definitely. And from a pricing perspective, you're getting 2.755 million. It's almost 300,000 savings. All right, almost 300,000 savings. And you get views like this, no? You see? Of course, this one you have to go up higher lah. In terms of your per square foot. It will go close to 3,004 per square foot and close to 3 million. But even this, you are able to go high floor, even higher than the 25th floor. Maybe you can jump another 24, maybe to 40th floor. This pricing is about 40th floor. And if you want to go even higher, Or you say, oh, I really want the Skye. I want to see more. Let's go even higher. You're still paying only 3.1 million. And this is already 33 floor higher. So does height have a price point? Definitely. Or definitely have a price that we need to ensure. Okay. So this is something that you need to kind of do your comparison with. And what about the 3-bit premium? Okay, 3-bit premium is also another configuration. So 3-bit premium for Skye, their pricing is 1076 square feet. And on the 4th floor is 2.865 million already. So that's why for their per floor jump, right, it's about 14,083. So on the 40th floor is 3.372 million. All right, so that's how we come out to an average of the price point. Then if you look at for Rivergreen, of course I use the 4-bedroom because the 4-bedroom is only 980 square feet. So there's a lot of people who talking about this, like, I don't want to comment too much. But yeah, so the Rivergreen, there is a household shelter, but there's no WC for the helper. All right, so their second floor is already starting from 2.716, or should I say transacted at 2.716. And the high floor unit, 36th floor, is at 3.5 million. So on average, their per floor jump is about 23,000. And if you base on a 40th floor unit, okay, 40th floor for Rivergreen, you need to pay up to 3.59 million. Then Promenade Peak, their smallest 3-bedroom is 1033 square feet. All right, again, this one, they have a bomb shelter, but there's no mixed WC. All right, their price point for the 40th floor is really up to 3.206 million. And the per floor jump is close to 10,000. Right. So if you look at this, the layout perspective, Zyon Grand. Okay, let's take a look. Okay, you can see that for Zyon Grand, 1076 square feet, right? They come with household shelter. Where is it? Household shelter. All right. They come with WC, and then they have a study. You see, and this price, they are starting from about 2.938 million. Okay, 2.938 million. This is on the second floor. So if it goes up to 40th floor, it will be about 3.28 million. And if you go all the way loading up to even 60s, to the 60th floor, wait, let me just take a note. 60, yeah. All right. You'll be at least 3.86 million. So this is estimated based on $9,000 loading. So based on 3.86 million, you are able to actually get even higher floor than what Rivergreen and Promenade Peak is offering, right? So that's why today, like for example, if you compare Zyon, their 3-bed plus study, you're paying the same price as Promenade Peak, 3-bedroom only, and don't have quite a fair bit of things. All right. So this is why it's important to kind of understand how to look into it from a pricing perspective and how you compare, you see. And that's why when we are doing all these numbers is equally important to kind of base it on. And one important thing, the 3-bedroom will be very desirable is also because out of all the projects in the CBD and non-CBD, there are only 3 projects that is above 60th floor. So this becomes a huge demand and supply current situation. And there's always this function that if the lesser supply is out there, the prices will eventually also increase over time. All right. So this is how we kind of study into their property. And last but not least, I also want to cover the 4-bedroom with lift. Okay, 4-bedroom with lift. All right, so this is a very rare approach because not every project have private lift configuration. All right, so we use this because the Skye for their 4-bed plus lift, right? Their 4th floor. Don't know why I keep saying second floor. okay, is 4.05 million. So for the 40th floor, it will go up to 4.831 million. All right, so the per floor jump is 21,694. Wow, you'll be saying, wow. So if let's say today, Skye has 62 floor lah, so that we can do a fair comparison. If hey, after the loading and everything, of course they won't load so much already, but on average, it was still worth at least 5.351 million price point. Okay. So now Promenade Peak is the only one with 4-bed premium. Okay. 1421 square feet. And now with their 44th floor and 62nd floor, you can see the price, and their per floor jump is also about 18,000. So this is not normal. I mean, it's not uncommon because of a high floor. There's a certain premium to the high floor. Okay. So with this jump, if let's say based on this, then the 40th floor, okay, because this one is based on 44th floor, you see that the pricing is about 4.618 million. So I do the numbers. Let's say it's 40th floor lah. For simple calculation, it should be worth about 4.544 million. Okay, it should be about there. Then if you look at Zyon Grand, Zyon Grand is also with a lift, and Zyon Grand, let me see. Okay, so for Zyon Grand, their size is 1421 square feet. Starting from second floor, 3.968 million. Okay, if let's say I put 15,000 per floor jump, okay, which means by 40th floor, it will be worth 4.538 million. So you just plus how much? 500,000. But if you want to go for 60th floor, 62 floor lah, you need to go up to 4.868 million. And this kind of pricing, can you see versus if let's say we do the same for Skye, there's a lot of savings. That's why the attractiveness for prices and units like this is equally very important. And more importantly is, in Singapore, for such a high rise with private lift is super rare. So why do I say super rare? Because it's all about supply and demand, right? You have 4 bedrooms, which is very common, but 4 bedrooms in a good location that is more premium and the private lift is super rare. So Skye and Anson don't have 4 bedroom. Okay. And these are all, I pull out all the high floor units. Okay, all the high floor, you can see 71 floor, the sale 70 floor, no private lift. Marina Bay Suite 66 floor. Wallach 65, no private lift. Okay. Marina Bay have about 110, Promenade Peak has 57. Then Skye Waters have with private lift. So Zyon Grand, if you want to own the Skye with private lift, there's only 98 units that you need to choose. All right, that's why for Promenade Peak, you can see the take-up rate for the higher floor units, bigger units are taken up. And I want to show you this comparison that we've done, right? To give you a quick overview, like today, if you're going for 4 bedroom, of course, you also start comparing the neighbors' pricing. And ultimately, Promenade Peak and the Zyon Grand, because they are the latest in the on the area, right? So their size are more acceptable, layout wise, more flexible. Whereas the rest of the properties, because they are bigger, they are done quite a while back. So their layout are definitely not as efficient. So this is also something that you need to be extra careful about, because the bigger they are, the quantum also gets higher, which means your borrowing ability also may be affected. Although most of you who are choosing the 4 bedroom, although money may not be such a concern, but I think it's also important. I believe it's also very important for you to also study the numbers and not just pay for what you can afford, kind of configuration. At the end, you still want to what? You still want to sell this property out, right? So that's why it's important. And the layout is fantastic, like if you ask me. Oh, super fantastic. Nothing to complain about. Nothing to complain about for this layout. And that's the reason why today, based on all these layouts, I think it also gives you a good understanding how you should be doing comparison. So the key thing is that how many of you want to get the same experience of what I've gone through to you more in a personal basis. So let me just run through with you very quickly what are the various steps that we usually guide our clients in. All right, so we will meet up with you and go through a discussion very in-depth to get you more clarity and confidence about what you should be doing, and also understand how the market is performing and what is your holding period for this property. Then we will of course make an appointment to go down to the show fact preview. Then we will register our interest. And during this 2 and 3, right, I think this is where a lot of people make mistake, because they just go in, just follow anybody and then just put down their interest without understanding much. For us, we are a little bit more kiasi, okay, we do a little bit more. So after the tour, or even during the tour, when we put our interest, immediately we will start the work to kind of prepare you through this entire process, whether it's pre-balloting for the preparation for the ballot, as well as the ballot flow. And just now when you saw how we run through the numbers, we will be actually coming out quite a fair bit of comparison like this. You know, we will have different price range of units that, based on your affordability, we'll be able to generate this for you, so that at one glance you are able to be very clear on what kind of pricing we should do and what pricing we should just walk away. All right, and this is just not the end, because this is just a selection process on that day itself. We do a lot of what's happened next is, after that there's a lot of follow-ups. Okay, we will constantly be following you through this entire process, not just a one-time, oh, you buy already, bye-bye. We will progress to you, and most importantly is every 4 years we will come in to do a review with you to understand how your property is performing, how's your capability, affordability wise. Is there a change in terms of your family plans that we need to do something else? So all these things are what we provide and prepare ahead, so that you are very confident in your entire property journey and not just a one-time off thing. All right. So if you find that whatever I share with you today makes a lot of sense, and you know it's almost impossible for you to get access to all this information, and you do not have the time to really go through it yourself by doing your own research, to doing your own compilation, then we are the right person for you. If we are a good fit, we'll be able to actually work with you, not only for this launch, but also what's your next 3 steps for your property to help you accumulate your net asset value up to even 5 to even 10 million. So we have done more than 100 new launches throughout this entire period, with over more than 160 million worth of asset value. So we know what we are doing, because we are also very much invested in new launches ourselves, and we know how to navigate through this entire process so that you can know what you are doing, to get the clarity as well as the confidence to do what's next. All right, so I hope that this video gives you the insights to understand behind the scene some of the things that we do to help you in your progress for property. All right, so if you have not liked and subscribed to this channel, this is your last chance to do so. So put it in, comment what you need from us. Maybe there are some videos that you prefer also for us to actually do it for you. Just put it in and we can see what we can do to help you. All right, with that, I hope that you enjoyed this video. I see you guys in the next one very soon. Cheers.